Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. On today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make a round frame turban with a ruffle design. Okay, the materials you'll be needing for this is your Dullface material. I'm going to be using 2 yards of this. You need your pin, your scissors, measuring tape, your marker, and then your candle gun. Okay, first we are going to be starting with the frames. We are going to be starting with the frames, and the measurement I'm going to be using for that is about 26 inches by length for the frames. 26 inches. Yes, and then for the width, I'm going to be using about 3.5 inches for the width. When you are done with that, you also cut out your marker that you're going to be using to insert into it after sewing. The marker you're going to cut out is going to measure about 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches, and then when you are done, you insert it. After cutting out your fabric, you fold it into two and sew. Remember, you're going to be making about 6, 7, or 8 of this, depending on how high you want the frames to be. Okay, it depends on your choice. So I'm going to be making about 8 of this, and I'll do that off camera and get back to us. So after making our strands, the next thing we are going to do now is to join them. We're going to lay them on top of each other and to join them together using our candle wax. We're going to join them to form.
Weeping may endure the night, but joy comes in the morning. This is the morning of your life. You're beautiful, 'cause in His time, He made all things beautiful.
When the birds start to sing, when the wind starts to blow, when the trees start to wave,
I see the way I'm doing it. Okay, I'm done joining our frames. Can you see that? Please, I forgot to tell us that when joining this frame, you have to make use of your dummy head in order to give it a round shape. You know, a human skull is round shaped. When you keep it flat, it's not really going to be nice at the end of the day. So it's better you put it on a dummy. I actually don't have my dummy here with me, so that's why I didn't use it. So that it's going to be looking curvy when you are done. Now that we're done with the frames, the next thing we're going to be working on is the card base. And the card base has 2 compartments: the lower pleated parts, the lower crisscross pleated parts, and the plain part for the upper part. We are starting with the lower part, and for this we'll be cutting out 2 pieces of fabric that measures about 14 inches for the length, and for the width I'll be using about 11 inches for the width. And after doing that, we're now going to form our pleats, which we will join together when we are done with that. Okay, first you are going to fold your fabric inside and then sew it. You'll be doing this from the wrong side. After you have sewn it all around to avoid it from fraying, you will now form the pleats by folding in your material this way and then sew. When you fold it in, you sew. You fold in again, you use your pin to hold it down and then sew. After doing that for the two of them, you will now join it together. Right now I'm done with the pleats, and I've also joined the two of them together. Please, when you are sewing, ensure that each layer covers your thread when you are sewing. We'll now move on to the upper part of the cap base. Okay, for the next thing we're going to do now is to work on the upper part of the cap base. And then the length I'm going to be using for this is 25 inches by length, and then for the width I'm going to be using about 23 inches for the width. And after that I'll fold it into two from the wrong side. I'm going to fold it into two this way, and then I'm going to sew around it. After folding it into two, you're going to be sewing around it. You sew all round. You sew from all the edges. You sew all the edges and down this part too. Then remember that while sewing, you are going to leave a small space. While sewing it, you're going to leave a small space at this edge, about, let's say, 2 inches, for you to turn it out when you are done. And then after sewing it, I'm going to be joining the upper part of it to the lower pleated part. And then after sewing it, I'm going to join it together this way. Right now, I've succeeded in joining my cap base together. I've joined the lower pleated part to the upper part. The next thing I'm going to be working on now is the handle for the cap. And for the purpose of that, I'll be cutting out 2 pieces of fabric from my fabric, which measures about 8 inches for the width, 8 inches for the width, and then for the length is 13 inches. I cut it into 2 places, and after doing that I'll fold it into 2. I'm going to be cutting out a slanted shape from the other edge, just like I'm doing now. Can you see that? So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it to the machine, and then I'll sew along the edges from the wrong side of the fabric. You sew this way and down to this part. But before doing that, you first of all fold the edge like this. You fold it and then sew from the right part of the fabric before folding it backward, just this way, and then sew along this part. And after doing that, I'm going to join it to the cap base. After doing that, I'm going to join it to the cap base. Finish joining my handle to my cap. After that, I'll do a running stitch at the edge of the cap. I'm going to pleat it by doing a running stitch.
And the wind starts to blow, when the trees start to wave, when the sun starts to shine, when the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts to fall, when the stars start to shine. It's all because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know you're so beautiful. It doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. When the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts to fall, when the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts to fall, when the stars start to because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know it doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. When the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts falling down, when the stars start to shine, it's all because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know it doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know it doesn't matter who.
Okay, the measurement I'm using for that is 6 inches by length, and for the width I'm using about 5 inches. When you are done doing that, you will have to fold it this way, fold it, and then sew on the right side. After sewing it, you fold it backward, just the way we did with the belt, and then you sew from here down, then turn it out before you cover it this way. I'm going to do that off camera and then get back to us. Right now I'm done sewing, so what I'm going to do now is to use this and cover the edge. I'm going to insert it into this.
When the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts to fall, when the stars start to shine, it's all because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know you're so beautiful. It doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. When the bird starts to sing, when the wind starts to blow, when the trees start to wave, when the sun starts to shine, when the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts to fall, when the stars start to shine, it's all because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know you're so beautiful. It doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. When the rain starts to fall, when the snow starts falling down, when the stars start to shine, it's all because of you. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know it doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful. Put a smile on your face. Hope you know it doesn't matter who you are. Hope you know that you're so beautiful.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to always see yourself beautiful. It doesn't matter how things look now, you are still beautiful.
For the ruffle design on it, I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of fabric that measures about 33 inches by length for our ruffle. 33 inches by length, and then about 6 inches for the width. And then I'll cut out a smaller piece of fabric that measures 16 inches by length, 16 inches by length, and then for the width about 2 inches. Okay, after you've done that, the next thing you're going to do is to fold it into 2. You fold it into 2 with the right side facing the right side, and then you place the smaller piece of fabric that you've cut on it this way, and then you're going to sew. You take it to the machine and sew from here down. You sew it from here down. After doing that, you turn it out. While sewing it, you're not going to cover the end. You won't cover the end so that you can sewing. The next thing is to turn it out. Can you see the way I'm doing it? Our ruffle is already forming. And yet, when you're done with the ruffle, you will now close the other edge, just like I have done here. When you finish pulling it, you will close it up at the other end. The next thing you will do now is to attach it to your cap. The next thing to do is to attach your ruffles to your cap using your candle gun. You attach it to it. And then I forgot to tell us that you are free to make as many ruffles as you want in order to give it a fuller look. Okay, when you are done attaching it, your cap is ready. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. See you in my next video.